In this video, I'm sharing 10 gardening hacks that kept my garden thriving in 2024. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Let me show you 10 easy hacks that kept my garden thriving and healthy in 2024. And the first one is not underestimating deep-rooted weeds. This is porcelain, which is also a weed in my garden because I didn't plant it even though I know it is edible. I love to make liquid organic fertilizer with it along with other plants like alfalfa, which has really deep roots. I like to use these in my liquid organic fertilizer. These deep-rooted weeds or plants draw up nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium from deep in the soil. So this is why I use comfrey, alfalfa, and every other deep-rooted plant or weeds in my garden to make my own liquid fertilizer. Water leaf also has that, or is also deep-rooted, so I use water leaves sometimes in my liquid organic fertilizer. The taproot of most of these deep-rooted plants can go as deep as 6 to 20 feet into the soil, drawing up all these amazing nutrients and just making them available for the upper layer of your soil, especially when you turn them into liquid organic fertilizer and use them to water your plants. Suppressing weeds in my garden by mulching my garden with dry leaves, fresh leaves, grasses, as long as it doesn't have roots. So I have just pruned my mulberry tree this morning, and what I usually do is to use the leaves to mulch my ground after pruning, to mulch the soil around it, the base of the plant as well, so as it decomposes it will feed the soil and also help suppress the weeds. I also use cardboard paper. If you want to suppress weeds for a long time, use cardboard paper. Use more of brown materials. I also use my corn stalk every time that I harvest my stalk. I put them on my soil so that they can help me suppress weeds. The best time to water your garden is early in the morning. That way they are able to take up enough moisture that will last them throughout the day, especially when the weather is so hot. And sometimes I wake up as early as 4 a.m. to water my plants, especially in this dry harmattan season. In my opinion, the best manure out there is chicken manure, and I'm going to tell you why. Chicken manure contains high level of key nutrients necessary for your plant growth. Nutrients like nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. Compared to other manure, chicken manure has the highest level of these nutrients. I'm speaking from experience because I have used almost all types of manure. I've used the rabbit, I've used cow, I've used pig manure as well, but I find chicken manure to be the best. You also want to know how to use chicken manure properly so that you do not end up burning your plants. Yeah. Eee, watch my plants. Oh my god. You have to keep watching to see how some of these plants that were here turned out a few days after applying this manure. So this was where I planted corn, the last batch of my corn, and I had arugula just in between, a few of them. And a few days after applying the manure, this is what is happening to my arugula. I kept telling Happiness to be careful not to put the manure around my plant, but the minute I would turn my head, she would do the opposite. So the manure ended up burning the arugula. The best way to use chicken manure is to apply it in your soil and leave it for a few weeks. When you start to notice weeds on that soil, then you know that your soil is ready to plant on. Food scraps have literally been saving my gardening life since I discovered the power of my food scraps. Everything that I'm sharing here with you, there is a longer video that I made this year. So if you want to, I'm going to put the link of those videos in the description so that you see, especially food scraps, because I know I have over 5 videos of how I use my food scraps in my garden to enrich my soil. So save all your food scraps so you can actually grow your food with food scraps only. Fermented rice water is another thing that I did not play with this year in my garden. I used it and I benefited from it. I have a video of that so you can check it out. Ground cinnamon, powdered cinnamon. Oh my gosh. So I recently started using this in my soil this year, and I know that I haven't spoken much about it. I only have one video where I showed you how I applied the cinnamon and just talked briefly on what it does. So but cinnamon is really good for your soil. It will help your root system. Cinnamon is natural and we know it comes from the bark of a tree. So if you want to prevent root rot, use cinnamon in your soil. I used baking soda in my garden this year for pest and disease prevention. As we all know, prevention is better than cure. So I have a well detailed video on how you can mix your own baking soda to spray on your plants like this to prevent disease. I noticed some white flies on my butternut squash, so I decided to spray it with my baking soda mix. So if you want to watch that, I'm going to put the link in the comment section or in the description so you can watch. If you're a gardener, an organic gardener for that matter, do not throw your eggshells away. Do not also throw your bones away. Turn them into bone powder. It's called bone meal. So turn them into bone powder. It's rich in calcium and phosphorus, which is necessary for every plant growth. These two things are necessary for every plant growth. So if you need to save up your bones, dry them and blend them into powder and use them in your garden. Speed up your seed germination rate by sowing them using the paper towel method, which I have also shared in my YouTube channel. So if you want a detailed video of that, I'm going to put that in my link. Oh my gosh, there are so many things to put in my description, so many links to put in my description for you to watch. So this is the quickest way. If you sprout lettuce like this, they will germinate in less than 24 hours. That way you don't get to waste your time planting seeds and waiting for a long time to know if they will germinate or not. And the last but not the least is follow Who Know Road. The best gardening channel or farming channel you should be subscribing to, especially if you're a beginner, is to subscribe or follow gardening channels that simplify gardening for you, that make it look very easy, because gardening is actually very easy. Just learn the basics and you're good to go. So please don't forget to drop a like and a comment if you enjoyed this content. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.